Birds of a Feather is some flocking good music. Y'all don't believe me? Check out this in-depth interview with the powerhouse East Texas band, Birds of a Feather.
It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. It's time to jam. It's time to mingle. It's time to see what everyone's drinking. Until we all lose connection.
This is episode 41 of the Boston Chris podcast with yours truly, Boston Chris. And today we are shining a light on a powerhouse East Texas band, alternative rock, hard rock, classic rock, all kinds of different variances of rock music. I'm super excited to have Jesica Peacock, Mason McFarland, and John Pierce, three of the four members of the powerhouse band, Birds of a Feather, here on the Boston Chris podcast. This week, we're excited to introduce two original acoustic songs by this band, kind of in a way that they're not known for. They're used to loud sounds and fully produced music, but today you're going to see two acoustic, kind of uncut versions of songs, amazing songs by Birds of a Feather. And then we're going to get into a really in-depth interview with these guys and girl about where they grew up, their first musical experiences, lessons they learned from their family, the name Birds of a Feather, where it came from and the significance behind it, how they became a band, how they are known locally as a band with a lot of energy that brings a lot of different genres and styles of music to their set list, who are the current members of the band, why they have so much energy on stage and how it's so infectious to their crowds, how they've released a couple of original songs, a brand new album on the way from Birds of a Feather, super excited stuff, and how life experiences impact their writing. Just so much stuff to unpack here, including their Mount Rushmore of Entertainers. They play What the Heck for the first time ever on the Boston Chris podcast, and so much more. Y'all don't want to miss this in-depth interview with Jesica, Mason, and John from Birds of a Feather. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, this is Clint Offord. Thank you guys so much for watching the Boston Chris Show.
Yo, it's the Boston Chris Show, and we have gotten to episode 41, and we're here at the Speakeasy Coffeehouse in beautiful downtown Quitman. Our partners with Speakeasy, you guys need to check this place out. Okay, they have live music downstairs all the time. If you're live music fans, I'm assuming you are because you're tuned into the show. So you guys need to be checking out the Speakeasy because I think Kelly and them here are going to have live music again starting in 2025. So you guys need to be checking that out. Make sure you look in the description down below. We're going to make sure there is a link to the Speakeasy down there. You can check out their schedule, all their events they have going on here, as well as amazing drinks, awesome food. It's awesome. Y'all check it out. And we're going to make sure that there's a logo somewhere up there. So y'all check that out. But we have Jesica, Mason, and John here from Birds of a Feather. One of the most powerhouse bands here in the 903. I'm so stoked to have you guys here. Thank you guys for taking the time.
Brother, thanks for having us.
And you guys, you're from Dangerfield, right?
Well, originally from Linden, but I live in Dangerfield.
Linden, Don Henley, nice.
That's right.
Very cool. And Mason, where are you from?
I'm from Marshall.
Marshall, and John?
Oh, dude, New Diana, man.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I suppose we'll
Yes,
be
sir.
okay with that. So essentially extreme northeast Texas for all three of y'all. Kind of, Jefferson's kind of like right smack dab in the middle of y'all,
Yeah.
isn't it?
This is one of our favorite spots, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys play Jefferson a lot, which is a great musical city, by the way. Little kind of side note on that. But you guys are going to play a couple of songs for us today here live at the Speakeasy. And the first one's called Bourbon Skies. Tell us a little bit about this song.
Well, I wrote it because it's really a love song, and you can't really tell that it's a love song, but it's about a man and a woman, and it's like either we're gonna do this, or you're gonna have to shake me loose, you know.
So shit or get off the pot.
Shit or get off the fucking pot.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. This is Bourbon Skies, completely acoustic, which, by the way, is not something y'all do very often, is the acoustic stuff.
Now,
Not very regular.
not very regular. We're trying to break into that a little bit, just so we can. I started acoustically,
Mhm.
so I love the intimate side. Like
Mhm.
I really love when people just sit there and it puts me on my toes, like
Yeah.
where they can cover my mistakes up. When it's just me and this one right here and him on the cajon, I'm like,
It's what I always say. It's hard to hide behind a guitar.
it really
and
is.
just a guitar.
Yeah, and so it really puts me on my toes and makes me dig deep.
And people don't realize, I think, music fans out there, maybe a lot of them do, but like music starts from that base, that
Yeah.
foundation of almost nothing, right? So I'm excited to show y'all. I think you guys are really going to dig this. Make sure you comment down below. Give them some encouragement if you're enjoying the acoustic
Yeah.
kind of toned down side of this. This is Bourbon Skies. Y'all check it out. so we're back again live. Well, we're not live. We're here live, but y'all are seeing it in the future, so that's recorded. I don't say live all the time, but we're here at the Speakeasy, y'all, in Quitman, Texas.
This building is amazing. It's like every corner is something different, and for a person who has ADHD, this is amazing.
I'm here to tell you, I've seen some fabulous music in this building.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're talking Gabe Wooten and
Wow.
Heather Little and
I love Heather.
oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
Meredith,
God,
of
come on
course, Chase and Kevin, Tinny, and oh my gosh, Clint Alford. I mean, there's just so much here. If you like the toned down side of music, this is the place. This is the best listening room in East Texas, I feel. That's not to throw shade at anybody else. It's just, this is the place. Seriously.
Well, we look forward to getting our little tail feathers in here.
Yeah, that would be dope.
It's cozy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is cozy.
It is.
So we all have room temperature water here, which is a good thing. And part of my theme song is we have to find out what they're drinking. So what are y'all drinking? What are your favorite drinks other than the room temperature water that we have? And it doesn't have to be alcoholic. So don't be like, oh man, I could use a margarita. You know?
No, well, okay, so I quit drinking about 6 months ago. Roughly about 6 months ago. I laid the alcohol down, and so Sprite is my favorite, either that or ginger ale.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mason?
Yeah, usually Sprite, Mountain Dew, sweet tea, a lot of sweet tea. I go through about 2 gallons of sweet tea.
Texas through
a day.
too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet tea.
John?
Miller Lite. I'm the drummer. You expected
He's
to
like,
be
yo, I'm the drummer. I have to bring in all the stuff.
He said, I'm the drummer, keep it coming, eh?
That's right. Yeah, I feel you there. I say this all the time. We talked to Brandon Ryder recently, legendary Texas songwriter. I'm sure you guys know Brandon, but he was talking about the evolution of his drink sponsorships over the years, and it started with hard liquor, then beer, and now he's sponsored by water.
That's the
That's
levels
it.
of
That's it.
sobriety.
I told him, I said, 10 more years, Brandon, you'll be looking at Pedialyte.
I said 12 steps. He took 3 steps.
He said Pedialyte.
I just see Brandon out there. Y'all make sure you check out our new brand of Pedialyte out there on shelves now. Oh man, I love this show so
Good
much.
recovery for after the show, man.
Yeah, it's just that we always talk about evolution of music on the show. I never thought we'd be talking about drinks like that. But the genesis to that story is one of the first people we interviewed for the show is a band out of Cambridge, Mass. Called Adios Fatso. And that band was created because of the pandemic. And it's a guy from Colorado and a guy from Boston. And they challenged each other to write one song a day, every day during the pandemic. And they put it out on Instagram. So these songs were like 30 seconds in length, right? So they were just like little, like almost like ditties.
Like
you know,
jingles.
like
Yeah.
jingles, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the jingles was perfect for my show. I was like, we're gonna chat, we're gonna mingle. And then the line was, we're gonna find out what they're drinking. And I asked him, I said, is there any way for you guys to like go back and change that to thinking instead of drinking?
Right.
He was like, man, probably not. I was like, all right, well, I'll just ask them what they're drinking and then it'll make sense. So that's what I did.
That's a fun segment.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be interesting.
Yeah. There have been some interesting answers, let me tell you.
What's the weirdest?
The weirdest one so far?
Don't you say pee? or
No,
now?
it wasn't. No, not yet. Thank goodness.
There's another
You know,
one.
I've slept since the last interview, so I don't remember, to be fair. There hasn't been really any weird ones yet.
Lemonade.
Oh,
Lemonade.
Jesus.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
geez.
We're already off the rails, guys. I haven't
Sorry,
even asked the
sorry.
first question yet. So let's
No,
let's
that's
try to
funny.
start sort of at the beginning with y'all, because this is an interesting story with John and Jessica especially. And we'll get Mason involved as well, but this is y'all's first band. The
Yes.
bookends here, and y'all the founding members of the band
Yes.
as well.
Yes, we
This
are.
is so cool, like that this is the first experience as a live band. So prior to that, I mean, there has to be a genesis to your story as far as music goes. So what's kind of the beginning? What kind of got you interested, all three of y'all, into the music kind of stuff?
It kind of runs in my family a little bit. My dad played steel for Mickey Gilley, and then he toured everywhere and played out here in Longview. And then, it's kind of around the music scene. I've got an uncle that was a drummer that I'd go watch as a kid, and it just kind of the way I came up and the way life went for me. Music's always something I fell to. So I decided one day that I've had a drum kit since I was 12, so why don't I do something with it? And I went and started jamming with these people who just really weren't all that serious about music. And then I met Jess and her, and I started this little journey right here.
And how long has the band been together?
3 years.
About,
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Nice. So what were kind of your first musical experiences and stuff?
Well, I started in church, wee lad. There was never a question of, are you gonna perform? you were told you were gonna perform, Christmas pageants, whatever, in the Baptist community. But so that stage presence has always been there. But then when I was in high school, I joined a band with Donnie Dotson from White Trash Wannabes. I don't know if you know him.
Of course.
Yeah, that's like my big brother, and we used to they used to sneak us into bars out in Uncertain, and we used to play out there, and like anything that we could get our hands on, we were there and we were playing and throwing down, and then I quit for a while because I needed to be a mom, but I always knew I'd come back out, and so it was funny because when I met this person over here.
That's your name calling.
I met him and I was like, I'm serious about this if you're serious about this. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm serious about this. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, John, I don't think you realize how good you are, because like that was the biggest fight with this one over here is he didn't believe in himself. And so I was like, John, we'd like go to jams and he'd see other drummers and he's like, I'm not, I'm like, yeah, you are ready. I was like, feet to the flames, let's go. And he's been a fucking animal ever since. And now I'm like, would you sit the fuck down? Calm down, sit down. Never.
Sometimes you need to have that like kind of indirect ego from
Yeah.
somebody else. Somebody else has to be your ego for you. I get that.
Yeah.
You always got to chase something, man.
Yeah.
There's somebody or something out there that's always going to be better than what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you're not chasing,
Sometimes if you don't chase, if that keeps you from chasing, that's very detrimental.
fear will kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's always going to be somebody better than you, no matter
Always,
how good
man.
you ever
Always.
get. And then even if you're the best, your mind is going to tell you you're not. So,
Right.
what's the point of ever believing that?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, and the biggest thing is, and I've heard all of us say this multiple times, like, there's never a point where we can't learn something from somebody.
Of course,
We just take it, what we need from it, and what we don't, we leave it at the side and let whoever else.
Otherwise,
pick
you're
it
stuck
up.
at the red light all the time.
Right.
You're never going to move.
Right.
That's right. Mason, what were your first experiences like?
Man, as a little kid, I would go to my great grandparents' house, and my great granddad had a little shop out in it was like a little room on the back side of their garage. He would sit in there and talk to his friends on his ham radio, and he had an acoustic guitar always sitting in the corner. And every time I'd go out there and visit with him and just pick it up and start strumming it, and he said, "You need to learn how to play that thing." And I was probably 6 years old at that time, and another few years passed, and I started playing at around 12 or 13, and sky's the limit.
It's always fun to hear
Yeah.
somebody's first experiences with music, because somebody like me, I'm not a musician. I'm the guy that is inquisitive and curious about where that starts. I wasn't around instruments when I was a kid, and like drummers are really interesting to me because as a parent, I would have never in a million years bought a drum set for my kids because I enjoy silence. Right? So it's funny how many drummers out there
I had a
are
big house.
second generation drummers, though. It's
Yeah.
honestly like, well, my dad was a drummer, my grandfather was a drummer. It's like being in the force,
We had a big house, had a 2-story house, so it was like I'd be upstairs playing, and you'd hear me a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was a little bit easier. And then at some point, my mom kicked me out. We had this gazebo outside. She said, "That's where you do music at." So it went from just annoying her to the entire neighborhood
Yeah.
at that point. So,
I feel you,
And
man.
now we're still doing that.
Of course, that's
Yeah.
part of the love, right?
Yeah, except now it's different because when we come to practice, especially in the summertime, or like, when it's warm, we'll open the door and the window, and his neighbors will actually come
They'll just
out and
sit
sit
out
out
and
on their
listen.
porch, and they'll like listen to us practice.
Yeah.
And so I think that's pretty cool.
Free concert.
We haven't had
Yeah,
any
they
noise
were-
complaint
Well,
at all.
never. And
At all.
yeah, it's like they get a free concert, like Mason said, a free concert, and then for them to actually just sit outside and want to listen, like we can't be too bad.
Tell us everything.
Yeah.
That's a question I have a little bit
Yeah.
later. We'll talk about that feeling a little bit later. This next question is not really musical related. You can make it musical related if you want, but what are some lessons that you've learned from your folks kind of growing up that you still kind of lean on today?
I'm gonna let you take that one, Mason.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna let you take that, partner.
Just to keep your head held high, no matter what. Don't ever focus or worry about what other people think of you. Just do you, and if you enjoy doing what you're doing, then stick with it, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
That ain't learning shit.
Well,
You
no,
didn't learn
that-
shit?
my stepdad
I
actually
learned
just
a little
died a few days ago. The guy that raised me and the majority of my life, and so I've had to do a lot of reflection in the past like 4 days. And
Sorry to hear
something
that.
that I took away from that was, don't wait too long to go talk to somebody that you need to tell them like you forgive them
Yeah.
and that it's okay, regardless of what they got to say back to you. Like, don't worry about what their response is. Just go get that off of your conscience. That way, when this situation does happen, you're not left with that feeling of guilt.
Mhm.
So,
We talked to Craig Wallace recently. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a former, not former, he's a Texas tornado inductee and lives in Canton area. But he said the quickest way to forgiveness is compassion.
Yeah.
I had never heard that before, and I was like, man, it's so true if you really think about it. You know,
just growth and compassion. Yeah, growth is a big deal.
Yeah.
You don't understand a lot when you're younger. Things
Sure.
don't make a lot of sense. Then when you get older, you start understanding why people were a certain way.
Well, a lot of times it takes going through it. You know?
yeah, you gotta
life
put their shoes on.
experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't realize what's happening until you're dealing with it yourself, for sure.
Yep.
And there can be a lot of unknown factors that create angst and anxiety and things like that.
All right. Well, I got one.
Oh wow! Okay,
All right.
When I gave her ideas.
No.
I'm gonna steal your answer.
Mine's
She's looking at your
completely
paper,
different, sir. So my family has taught me that the family you're born with is not always considered really your family.
Mm.
Like, these people are my family. I get, like, they ride harder for me than my family ever has.
Mhm.
And, like, no shade on my family. You know, sometimes you grow up and you realize you don't want to be that human. And that's okay,
Mhm.
you know. But I believe that if you follow who you are, you find your tribe.
Right. And honestly, when you're growing up in a situation, you're closer to the flame, right?
Right.
So at that point in time, you can make one of two choices. You can either fall in line and do what those above you did, or you can kind of rebel against that and go in a different direction. For me, I came from a long line of alcoholics, and so I had two choices growing up. I was either going to be an alcoholic, or I was going to be just a complete mental block on alcohol. You know, so now, like, when I'm around drunk people, man, I really close up. I'm like a clam when that happens, you know, and that's because of my family. So it's about being close to that flame. And sometimes people that have your same blood are not the ones blowing your horn the loudest either. So
Well, and you know, I'm a generational chain breaker. You understand me?
Yeah.
Like, I refuse to I know the product of children you raise because I was one of them.
Right.
So I want different for my children, and it's not any knock against them. Like, they probably did the best that they could. And I'm grateful for what they did when they did do it, but it's not for me, and it's not for mine.
yeah, and at the end of the
And
day,
so
they taught you a lesson,
they
whether it
did.
was intended or not.
They did. Well, and they taught me really to be grateful for the people that you do have.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about numbers. It's about quality. You know,
Yeah.
the quality of people that you get.
I love that. Yeah. Great stuff, man. That's why I asked that question, because I try to make these interviews to kind of be full circle. I want the end to kind of circle back around to where we started from. And it's weird how it works. You guys will see it. It will happen somehow. It'll circle back. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it almost always does. But so let's get into the birds of a feather. So the name is obviously extremely unique. I know there's significance to it. I don't know what that is. So what is the significance? And John and Jessica, you guys are. I know what it's like trying to
Yeah.
come up with the name of a band. So take us into the room as you guys
This was
are.
a place when I joined her with what she had going on. This was her vision.
Yeah, Birds of a Feather was my vision, and my last name is Peacock, and so birds of a feather, they flock together, and so that's really how it came about. Like John, I was from. I don't know how it. I don't know. There's certain people that are in my life now that I don't know how we didn't cross paths.
Right.
Like, you know this person, I know this person. What do you mean? I hung out with this. Oh, I was at this party. Me too. Well, you were? Yeah.
It's just all about timing.
And timing is everything, man.
Yeah.
And so it just wasn't meant to be at that moment. But so birds of a feather, we flocked together. New Diana, not to be confused with old Diana.
I knew her once.
What a
Same.
broad.
And then you
She
got
wore a
Marshall.
lot of lipstick, y'all.
Yeah. Her fruit was fruin'.
So other than the three of y'all, there's a fourth member of the band who's not here today, and
That's-
that's Jennifer Leard,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I know that you guys have had different iterations of the band over the years.
Yeah.
This current crop is ridiculously good. This has to make y'all feel good where y'all are at right now, right?
No. Yeah. Okay. So we don't believe in being comfortable.
Well, of course not.
Okay.
Yeah, complacency
We feel,
is death.
oh man,
I
yeah,
agree.
definitely. So like, one of us is always unsettled, and I love that about us. It's a double-edged sword, really, because
Yeah.
where I think that we're right on path, or vice versa. If John or Mason thinks that we're right on path, and I'm like, no. So one of us is always pushing the other to, like, we're not like this. We got this, and this. Let's go. And so
And obviously, looking at that, you can feel grateful for that. But when it happens, it's got to be a little annoying, right?
well, no,
Like,
it's uncomfortable in
Yeah.
the moment because
it's like, I thought we were there.
yeah. Well, we also have to remember that we in those little moments, like for example, we played a show in Texarkana at Universal Vibe, and it was pretty awesome. We were on this
Cool.
huge stage.
Cool.
We had
Wow,
fire
wow,
dancers
really.
playing.
I saw that.
Like, it was so much fun. And then, like, so while we're in the moments of those, it's not uncommon for one of us to look at each other on stage and be like, soak it in, boys.
That's surreal. It's a very surreal
like,
surreal
soak it in.
environment,
Like,
yeah.
this is the moments where
moment.
we need to go. We're
And
doing it.
and that's
you
when
know?
you look back at the times where Jessica had to talk you into it.
Yeah.
And those times when you're talking yourself out of things. Those surreal moments of just experiencing life and what you're putting on, because I saw those videos. They were dope as hell.
Yeah.
I know what that's like, being in the moment, and then you look back at it, you fangirl over that moment a little bit sometimes.
Well, it's
You
funny
have to.
because when we went to Nashville, like, one of the first things that I ever said to John, just meeting him,
Mhm.
is, hey, John, want to go to a jam? And so we were standing in line because we had to have, they did media coverage, and it's crazy.
Hectic.
It's so crazy down there on the red
It's a
carpet.
good crazy.
It is
though.
good crazy,
Yeah.
but
Those
when
bars
you've
are
never
good time.
experienced
exhausting.
it's exhausting.
Absolutely.
Like, it really is. So we're like, so we're in this line, and we're like, and then I sat there for a minute, and I looked at John and said, hey, John, you want to go to a jam? And he just looked at me and shook his head
That's
like,
where it
girl.
started. Went from there to here.
Oh, God, you're natural. You have to, right? I mean, you have
Yeah. So, like, it's little moments like that we have to remind each other, we're on our way, but we can't not take notice of where we're at.
right.
Because I don't want to be there and then look back and be like, oh, man, those were some good times,
Yep.
and we didn't take them for what they were.
Right. You have to live those moments in the moment too. Like, I've been on both sides of that red carpet, so I know how it is. Like, I've been the one that put the show on. I've been the one, interviewed on the red carpet too. So I know how exhausting both sides can be of that. it's definitely interesting to say the least. Especially when you guys, your name is there. Like you're invited there as a nominee. That's a huge thing. And I mean, you're from East Texas. You're in Nashville, like completely out of your nest, so to speak. See what I did there?
Oh yeah, I seen it.
The birds.
The bird mix.
So you guys are also known. I mean, everybody asks, that's seen you guys live. I haven't yet. I haven't had that chance. I plan to rectify that, but I've heard that you guys give a really, really high energy show. It's very high energy
Every time.
and a lot of different genres, a lot of different styles within those genres. I've seen a lot of live performances of y'all and different cover music that you guys pick, and really that's really important, especially in East Texas. And if you're not in East Texas, we have a lot of viewers outside of this area. East Texas is, unfortunately, from my perspective, is really heavily cover music. It's hard to find really true, unique, original artists. They exist, but the venues almost force y'all.
Well, I can't think of a single venue in East Texas that just strictly does original music. You know what I mean?
You're in one right now.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Oh, we can just when we
So
You've already booked this, ma'am.
So when you guys are invited to come to this venue, yes,
Yes,
you will play
yes.
all original.
Yes,
That's
that is
what
what
we
I'm
like.
talking
That's
about.
what we
Yes.
The Speakeasy Coffeehouse at Speakeasy Coffeehouse on Facebook. Winky face. Logo right there. So y'all check them out. Exactly. But my point is, because we're in a place where the venues really expect a lot of cover music, they want people to be able to know the music. I'm trying not to say anything really, really bad about venues because I love the venues too. But as a band that wants some originality, that's obviously presents some challenges to y'all because you do have to do cover music. But I know from y'all's videos that you put your spin on these songs.
We do.
So I want to know the strategy behind picking the set list. And then when you're in the room rehearsing these songs, what's it like, that kind of pull and tug with each other? Let's do this, let's do
Full
that.
disclosure,
Yeah.
John fucks up, we go to halftime, and that just becomes part of the song.
Do not tell the secrets of the ways. No, really though, there are certain ones that we didn't think that we would like playing. And we love everybody's music, but when you're in front of a band who took the time to write their own music and then compose it, and then here we go. Straight up, everybody puts their own little bit into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It really is. So I'd much rather hear somebody's originals than the covers. But you're right. It's a necessary evil.
Mm-hmm.
And but
the way I look at it is like this, right? So I have my son sitting over there,
mm-hmm.
right? So he might be a good artist.
Right.
I don't want to see his version of the Mona Lisa.
Right.
I just don't.
Right.
The Mona Lisa already exists and it's freaking amazing.
Right.
So paint something new.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. And so, as somebody who lives in East Texas, as big a music fan as I am, it's frustrating for me because I love, man, when you hear a new song, it's like opening a box, right? And you're like, you don't know what's in this box.
Right.
And then this thing comes out of that box that just changes your life. Look, City Lights by Journey is not going to change my life again.
Right.
It's just not. It already has. It's done that. Been there, done that. That's the way I look at it. I wish venues would take note of that.
Right.
Yeah, and I think East Texas in a whole is just kind of stuck in the past.
It can be.
When
we were doing the podcast in 2018, we used to have artists come from all over the place, and they would say, we never come to East Texas. It's an island up here. It's just an island. You don't get to come here. There's no venues here that work with what I do.
A lot of people that
You
go
either
out
get
to
Dallas or
the-
Shreveport. You know what I mean?
A lot of people
Yeah,
that
and
go
it's
to-
vice versa too. It's hard to get off the island too
Right.
into the rest of the world.
A lot of people that go out to the live music scene in East Texas, it's more of a honky tonk, two-step. They're not there for the music. They play something we know, something we can dance to, and drink alcohol to. And I mean that's great. So we've had to adapt with kind of learning the crowd a little bit. And we're not your two-step honky tonk band, but we go into a lot of these places that are those type of places, and we kind of change that environment just for
Absolutely.
the night.
Yeah, just for the night,
But we
and
pay
they love
attention.
it.
We pay attention to what moves the crowd, and that's where
Right.
we get our
And
coverage.
that's why you have these
from.
numbers like this. I mean, you guys have a private group with 3,000 members in it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
ridiculous.
hard to break. It's hard to break out of being stuck in the rut of East Texas, of being stuck in those type of places, and that it is hard to get out of there.
Yeah, and it's a necessary evil, unfortunately. You have to do that. But at the same time, it can also help you from the aspect of becoming creative with things that already exist. You
Well,
know,
what I
like
was
giving
gonna-
the Mona Lisa a mustache.
What I was going to tell you is right. What I was going to tell you is that a lot of times the difference between us and someone else is we never play the same song twice. It doesn't matter if it's a cover song or not. Like we play off a feeling, and we've played with each other so much that I don't even have to look at them. I can hear what's going on behind me and know where we're fixing to go.
Mhm.
And we've never played it that way before,
Mhm.
but it works out.
Absolutely.
So we have a motto. If we're going to fail, we're going to fail together.
Mhm.
And it might be a train wreck, but we're going to ride it to the ground.
Mhm.
And
It
so
happens.
it happens there. But let me tell you this much. If it ever does happen live and you see that train wreck happen, you better know that when we get back at the house, that's the first song that we learn, that we get on, and we don't move from that song until it is exactly the way we want it. So the next time you see us, you're going to be like, oh,
Mhm.
that's what was
Exactly.
supposed to be.
That's why I wanted you guys on the show, because I know how original you guys are, and I know how unique you are to the area, right? It's not just you made a good point, the honky tonk country, red dirt, southern rock. That is East Texas.
It is.
But if you really pull back the layer of things, there's metalcore here, there's metal, there's hard rock, there's alternative, there's rap, there's hip hop, there's
It's so hard to
bluegrass.
surface.
There's a
it.
lot
And
of
it's
Latin
here.
music
It's
also.
all here.
It's here.
Yeah.
But it's
and-
oversaturated with one
genre.
But
direction.
just tell me, just off the top of your head, where can I go to see a bluegrass band live in East Texas? I don't know of a place.
I know,
I
a few
know
back-
Outside of maybe church,
I
right?
know a back porch or two.
Yeah. But
Huh?
I know a back porch or two.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the best concerts are
Yeah.
anyway. I just want to really put it out there that I'm not knocking artists here in East Texas, because some of the
Absolutely not.
best songwriters in East Texas, you will never know how good they are because the venues don't let them play this.
Well, you know, there's certain people that we have taken under our wing.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Okay, and we found them like at jams or
Mhm.
you know, just by chance. And you're talking about bluegrass. Okay, well, Lil Jackson James, that's a bluegrass playing. He calls it red grass.
I love Jackson. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great.
Jackson
Jackson's
James is
very, very good.
so. I found him at a jam, and he was a baby. Oh, he was he was like a
Yeah.
sophomore, and I was like, man, listen,
Yeah.
you need
There's so
to
much here.
pursue
There's so
it.
much here.
Yeah,
And I'm sad. That's why partly why I'm back doing this, because like there's a lot of people to talk to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people to talk to. Not just East Texas, but Texas and national, global. We're doing everything in this show now. So and trying to bleed fan bases, right? So I want people to learn about y'all that
Yeah.
maybe learned about somebody else from Alabama that
Right.
I talked to. So that's kind of
well,
it.
it's all about networking.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I know that this has had to have happened to y'all, you know, where you play an original song, you guys have done cover songs, then you sneak in that original, and people are like, so who wrote that one? That happens. I know it does. Well, that's kind of our song, that's our original, but people think that your originals are covers a lot, I bet, right?
No, because we tell them we're coming right out the gates. This one's ours.
every
Nice.
now and then we won't tell them,
Yeah,
and
every
then
now
somebody
and
will come up to us on break or something, and be like, "What was that?"
then.
Yeah.
And then we'll tell them, you
Yeah.
know, that's an original, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's,
And it's always great seeing their reaction too.
Of course.
You never know
That
what to
first song
expect.
played.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
man.
When
Yeah.
it comes to somebody's reaction to something that you're doing, you know what I mean? It could be really good, it could be really bad. But that's the beauty of it is you're getting a jack in the box essentially every time you tell somebody, yeah, that's an original song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, I mentioned it earlier, there's a lot of energy behind y'all's performances too. And I've seen the videos of these. You talked about the fire dancers, and that's just a small example. of what you guys do, just the passion y'all have on stage. It's infectious, really. And every video I see, it's everybody's happy, right? Everybody's got a smile on their face. What's the roadmap for this? Is this something you guys think about beforehand? We're going to make sure this is a really high-driven, energetic show. Or is it just natural?
No, that's
It's
pure.
just pure.
Yeah.
We've done that since day one.
Because there's a lot of joy in what
Yeah.
you do.
Well, there's freedom. Listen, I'm an old addict. I'll be 110%, but there's no drug like the drug that I found when I hit that stage. That stage will feed me every time, and it will leave me wanting none.
And I can't speak for these guys, but me personally, like my energy comes from the crowd. If the crowd is
They feed
energetic
me.
and into it, then I'm energetic and into it, But it's a you feed me, I feed you kind of thing. You know what I mean?
But
if I'm not getting fed, I can't feed you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's just room reading, really.
But there have been times, I know multiple times, when we graced a brand new stage, a brand new venue, and we walk in, and they know that they booked a rock band because I made sure that they knew we were rock
Ahead of
before
time.
we came.
Yep.
And so we'll step foot in a venue, and I turn and look at Mason and John, and I'm like, they ain't gonna like us here.
Nope.
But we gonna give it to them exactly the way that who we are, because we're not changing for them.
Well, it's the venue's responsibility to know who they're booking.
Well, and they love us.
You know.
They really do. Like, if they give us just about this much time, just the tip.
East Texas Balloon
They-
Race, when they booked Co.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you knew what you were signing up for, guys.
You're
Right.
talking about the Great Balloon Race.
Yes.
What
Yes.
was that about? Come
Bro.
on. Yeah.
You
should
knew
have
I
what
can't believe he was cussing on stage. My God, you booked Coat Wetzel.
Right? What were
Did
you?
you not do your research?
Just go listen to one.
It's like booking the Pope and expecting him not to pray.
Shut it up.
Like, what are you doing? I saw that and about lost my shit, man. I was like, what do you mean you didn't know? Oh, well, we talked to him beforehand.
Well, you didn't.
So that means he's doing it for...
What's crazy is these people bought tickets to go see that with his name on them.
Yeah, and didn't know.
And you brought your kids.
Yeah, to see Coat Wetzel.
You bought the tickets and brought the kids.
Yeah. Golly,
You can't
man.
complain about it
I
at that
love that
point.
stuff. They weren't asking him to do cover songs. I promise you that. So yeah, you guys write as well. Obviously, you do have some amazing original songs. My favorite is coming up at the end of the show, by the way. And I learned of another one last night when I was doing more research. Man, I love this. Doing this show is so much fun because literally my research is listening to music. Like, you can't beat that,
Yeah.
right? You literally can't beat that.
It's a love language.
It really truly
It really
is.
It's
is.
like a day full of medicine.
But yeah, I found a song called that you guys did at that fire thing, the Peyote song. Peyote, yeah. And golly, so Metallica-like, man. I was like, this would be like Metallica with a female lead.
No.
I was like, God,
I mean, I'll
this
take
is
it.
great.
I'll take it.
No, I pulled my headphones off last night, and my wife and I are laying in bed, like we're side by side laptoping. You know what I mean? And I said, listen to this shit right here. And she was like, well, okay, all right. But yeah, Ain't Me is coming up later. But let's talk about the process behind your songs. You mentioned that each of you is kind of adding your ingredients to the songs. But where does the base of the song come from? Are you the songwriter? Or who? Or,
I mean,
me and Mason are the main ones, but we all write.
okay.
We all write. Like,
Sometimes she'll come to me and with lyrics and like just a
outline.
rough foundation of music, and I'll take it and transform it into what ends up being the final product.
Yep.
Or I'll take a piece of music that I've written with no lyrics and come to her and be like, hey, put some of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I'll sit and write a complete song from front to back. You know, it really just depends on my mood. You know what I mean? As far as who does what.
Are your songs more inspirational, or do you make an attempt to write at times?
It's more, for my instance.
In other words, are they reactionary? Like something happens and then you're like, oh, I need to write that down.
Well,
mine's like a diary. Okay, listen, if you go back into, like John said, I know what that one's about. Like, I'm like, you better hush. You better hush. Like,
Should be telling her.
I do. I tell on myself through my songs. Like, there's certain ones where I was just pissed off and I just needed to get it out.
No.
And so I wrote it, and then it came out. I never thought that it would come out,
Mhm.
but like, Feeling Cheap was a pissed off song. I wrote that because I was mad,
Yeah.
because, I was running around.
Well, I mean, songs
acting
come
like a
from
hoodlum.
emotion anyway.
Yeah.
Myself, I never sit down with my guitar and be like, all right, I'm gonna write a song.
No,
you know what I
never.
mean? Like that has never happened.
Yeah.
It's just always I'll be playing and I'll find something.
Yeah.
And then something clicks with me in my head, you know what I mean? And it just kind of all fits itself together in a puzzle almost effortlessly.
It's
You know what I
crazy,
mean?
isn't it?
Yeah,
Or it also happens when we're in rehearsal.
yeah.
That happens a lot, and they'll just go into this
Jam,
and I literally just hit record on my phone, like I know better, because they're not going to remember what they played.
It's like those "What was that" moment?
Yes,
right?
and
Like,
we
what
have
was
a lot
that?
of
Do
those.
that again.
We have a lot
We
of those.
can't.
Yeah.
And
Good
we
night.
so that's when I learned, you hit that record button and they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna know,
I love that. So as you grow within your art, how do you achieve more and more comfortability with that? Just kind of getting experience in writing, and is it all emotional for you, or?
A lot of how we build in that is feedback.
Yeah.
When we go to the studio and represent this to the guys at Steel Records that we work with, and they're blown away by, oh man, we can't wait to work with this song.
Yeah.
And we
That's
go-
Steve Shively, right?
That is.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
Kyle
Kyle
Root.
Root.
Yep.
And then we go out to some of the jams and we break out some of these new ones, or our music buddies, some other guys that are playing out in East Texas come out and check us out, and they hear it, and it's just a positive feedback from everybody. It's really truthful feedback. Like, if
Yeah.
call a turd, if it's shit, call it shit.
Yeah. And they will.
Yeah,
And they'll let us know really up front.
But
And
that's
we don't get our feelings hurt about
It's
it.
just constructive.
It's just
criticism,
constructive.
you know?
You
That's a
can't
good producer.
grow.
To be honest,
Yeah.
that's a good producer
No.
because he's putting his name on it,
Right.
right? And there's a lot of producers out there that they'll put their name on shit because they're getting paid for it.
yeah, it's all about a
Yeah,
dollar.
they'll never-
Yeah,
shit,
and
just 'cause
man,
you
that's
get
when
paid
you
for
know
it.
you don't have a good team behind
Right.
you. You know what I mean? If you're in the studio, don't get me wrong, I'm not a musician, I'm not an artist, never wrote a song in my life, can't click a pen and rip. That's me. But I've been in the studio a lot with different acts. And if your producer doesn't tell you suck at least once, you don't have a good producer.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, let me tell you, I didn't know. I didn't know how I play off of emotion a lot when I'm on stage.
Right,
Like
yeah.
like Mason says, the crowd gets into it, I get into it. Okay, and sometimes I love to jump around. Call me
Mhm.
crisscross. I jump up to get down. Okay, it's just what I like to do.
Showing our age, Jessica. Come
hey,
on now.
Hey, I'm okay with it. Okay,
I missed the
seasoned.
bus.
I'm seasoned.
I missed the bus.
So when we went into the studio, oh my God, it's a whole new beast.
It is, absolutely.
And so I'm used to feeding off of these guys on stage, like we're in and we're just, yeah,
Now it's all technical.
Oh,
Yeah.
now it's broke down and I'm in a little bitty
Yep.
room and my guys are in the 2 rooms over and all I can hear is them here. And
Mhm.
but I'll tell you this much, Kyle, he puts my feet to the fire and he's like, okay, that right there, give me 3 more takes.
Yeah.
And so a verse that's only like 3 lines,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to do 15 times.
They
And
say studio work is called that because
Yeah.
it is work.
It's
And
part of
I
it.
am exhausted. Like when we get into the truck to leave,
Yeah.
we get there, we're pumped, bro. We are
Yeah.
ready to go. Let's go. When it comes to leaving, we're like, see you later, bro.
Yeah. And so
Like,
when
I'm
it comes to
done.
the studio, like there's nothing scarier as a musician than walking into a studio
Yep.
for the first time.
Yep.
Because it really will make or break you.
Yeah, especially if
You know what I
you're
mean?
planning to play your own parts.
Yeah.
Right.
Because a lot of times you just have to, you just do your vocals and they have their own players on there, which I think is very risky as a live band too, because you have to replicate that as a live band, and if it doesn't sound like the record,
Yeah.
that's tough because
Yeah.
you're essentially trying to sell that record.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I have a lot of respect for bands that use their own pieces in the studio. It's very, It's daunting.
It's
It's
so
very daunting.
common now that Stain, for instance, they just did a new album not too long ago, and Aaron Lewis did an interview where he sat down and he said flat out, like, none of us were in the same studio together at any point during this album. Like, I recorded my part here, they did theirs there, and over here, and over here. And that's super common nowadays. And what's uncommon is bands that actually still go
As a
kind of the older school route with it, and we all get in there and we work together on that song in the same studio with the same producer with the same team.
I love the segue you just gave me. We just did an interview recently, a month ago, with Pappy Middleton, who was Bonnie Raitt's producer for 27 years. Okay.
Wow,
And
right?
I want to kind of segue this in. I appreciate that because he helped me out there. But here is an ad from the legendary Pappy Middleton. You guys know that you can go and be an understudy for Pappy Middleton right now. You can do that. Pappy, tell him about it.
I'm putting it together right now, and I'd love to get it out that any student, I don't care how old you are or what, if your heart lies within this kind of domain of the sound, playing, any of that, I'm gonna start taking one day out of every couple of weeks and invite students in for a very small charge. And I will tell you whatever you want. Any question you got, I'll try to answer it.
Well, I will certainly put that out there. I'll make this a little ad for you, and we can share it.
Because they'll have full access to the studio, everything. I can tell them everything about how all of this started from analog into the digital world, and you'll be able to have hands-on. And I'll show you why analog sounds better than digital.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely cut this out. I'll make a little ad out of it, and we can share it everywhere.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Because I'd love to do it. That's my legacy, is to leave with.
It's pass it down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So we're back. We're talking about Pappy Middleton a little bit, and I wanted to bring him in here because the record by Erykah Badu that won a Grammy was recorded all in the same studio with all the musicians under the same roof. And they literally went in there at 9 o'clock at night, and they came out 6 a.m. the next morning with a record.
I believe it.
And 7 of the songs on the record they wrote as they were recording.
That's awesome.
Okay, so yeah, and
John
Pappy
knows
called
all
that
about that.
he called that the magic of the human element, and that is what's missing today a lot of times in the studio versions of stuff. Like a good example of the opposite of that is the Taylor Swift with the Long Pond sessions during the pandemic.
Yep.
They were all in different places, and they're sending the files over the interwebs and stuff, and it was great, but it was missing that human element that you get when you're all in the same room. So thanks for that segue. Got me into my ad. As we live and experience life, and this was on the questionnaire. You said, ask me in person. So here's me doing that. Those experiences almost always find their ways, I feel, into a creative person's creations, right? Just their life experiences always come out in your art. Unless you're kind of stifling that, which is kind of bad, I think. But how have your life experiences shown themselves in your art, and what impact do you think those finished pieces bring to you?
Well, I started this because I'm the middle child of 5. And as the middle child, you don't ever have a voice.
Mhm.
Like, nobody hears you. You can be screaming and mama's worried about that baby, or that oldest one is causing hell,
Missing curfew and shit.
Yeah, right? Like, can you give me a break over here, right? But no, in all seriousness, like I went through a lot of trauma as a child, and so I always felt like I needed to be heard, and I hurt for so long. And then I woke up one day and I was like, either I'm going to be the victim or the victor. Which one am I going to be? Am I going to use this to help me heal, to help me grow? Can I pass this on to somebody with this knowledge and let them learn lessons and heal from it? And so when I started this, it was exactly that. I just needed to get it out. I needed to be, my vessel needed to be empty of all the pain and all the crap that I went
So it was
through.
a conscious dump. so to
Right.
speak.
I was trauma dumping on all of
Yeah,
you
yeah.
people. You understand me? But But in it, I learned and realized that the people that related, you know, they gave us a bond. And those are our people. That's our flock.
Yep.
And we have a flocking good time. I just want to let you know.
And it's smart because now, I mean, it's not something I think you're probably doing consciously, but because you're dumping that trauma and getting it out into the world, you're free of that, but it also helps other people. So then those people can kind of interact with you and just, it's kind of a bond that, you know, you're not trying to create, but it's
Right.
there because...
Well, yeah, because you felt alone in it for so long, and then you realize you're not really alone.
Yeah, there's others.
Yeah, you're not really alone. And so like I said before about, you know, you find your tribe. You really do. You just have to find your authentic self.
Yeah.
No matter what that looks like.
I love that.
You know?
That. All right, so so when it comes to your music, your band, what does success look like for y'all?
You mean individually or
Just
as a whole?
Collectively, individually, whatever your successes look like. Because we talked earlier about, you know, just somebody connecting could be a success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be financial or monetary or whatever.
We never did this for any of the money of it.
Yeah.
There are riches to be made in music, and if that's part of the benefits that we get, that's great. But if not, I want music out there.
Yeah.
My kids and generations after them can go back and listen, and maybe just. I come from my background. She comes from her background. He's got his background. We've all got different backgrounds, and music speaks to all those backgrounds.
That's right.
So if we could just help somebody, I mean, that's.
And that's
It helps me every day.
that's
Like, it's-
making the demo, right?
It's medicine for me.
Yeah.
It's more than anything. Like that's what success is for me. Is just waking up a little bit happier every day than I used to be because I have music as an outlet.
It sounds like you're glad she dragged you into this, huh?
Oh yeah. I kind of ran towards it.
Good job, Jessica. Good job.
He was running towards me. We just didn't know till we collided, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that collide because, you know, his wife Julie is like, we call her Mama Bear, and she is exactly that. She is Mama Bear. She will get in our ass if we are not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and if something's going on stage or something's going on off stage and I'm more focused on she'll look at me and go, fix your face.
Mm-hmm.
Fix your face. People are looking at you. Fix your face. Like, and she doesn't even have to say it. She just, you know, it's just she loves us and she wants us to succeed. So she pushes us and she don't have a problem calling us out.
You gotta have that.
It's
man.
a better.
I didn't plan that. I swear to God. I don't know where that came from.
We'll put that right there.
So I'm just grateful for it all. Like, I'm grateful because, you know, they've given me a family inside of a family, you know.
A major thing in East Texas too is the fact that artists support each other so big in East Texas, and you guys are known for that as well. Always singing other people's praises.
Yeah.
So where does that come from?
I mean,
Just being humble.
yeah, bro. I mean, come on.
It's not a competition.
I want us
by
to all
any
make
means.
it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're winning, I'm winning.
The flame burns brighter, right?
That's right.
You don't know how hard a band really works unless you're in a band.
Yeah.
Or that band. Like this band works more than this band, works more than this band, works more than this band, but we all go out and we sacrifice the same things to go do these
And it's
things.
hard to support when you're playing the same nights too.
That part, yeah.
So we make it a point a lot of times to go out, and when we're not playing, like we look around at who is playing,
Who is
and
playing.
who can we go out and hang out with, and it means a lot to us when the guys do the same thing for us when they don't have anything going on.
Yeah, and just sharing stuff on social media too. Because a lot of times if you're playing Friday night and all the other bands are too, you know, I think it looks cool. Like if you have a Friday night gig and you're an indie band, so it's not like there's a team of people saying, "Hey, come see Birds of a Feather." So it's
Right.
on you to do that,
Yeah.
right? But then on the other side of the coin, you're sharing somebody else's show at the same time as yours. That's very, very enlightening to me, and I see y'all doing that a lot, man. So kudos.
Well,
on
that's
that.
our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely,
You know,
of course.
and I say this a lot, you know, East Texas, we don't get the credit of the talent that's in our pond. Like we don't. Like it's like we're looked over. You know, yeah. Co's from Pittsburgh, you know, but outside of Co, like, and Post Profit's coming up. They're from Longview
Black
or
Hot
Tyler,
Mojo,
you know.
Black Hot Mojo,
Palestine,
Yeah, I mean, so like, I mean, we have
Colby
certain
Cooper's,
right. So
there's
we
a
have
ton of them.
right. So there's so many of
It's
us.
just oversaturated
But
to
it's
find
just-
talent. Like it's hard to see
Nobody
talent when
comes
there's so
in.
many people doing what
Right.
we're doing.
No.
There are different levels to the people that are doing it, and you just got to kind of work your way through those levels to get up. And cream rises to the top.
That's
Like,
right.
That's not meant in a competitive term, but
Great
cream will
stuff.
rise to the top.
I love it. So there could be an album on the way.
There is
There
an
better
album.
Definitely is.
There is.
So I said those words and I have goosebumps.
Yeah, there is an album on the
So
way.
all right, so here we are, and this is your chance. Tell us about this.
Okay, so the title of the album is Just Winging It.
Of course,
Yeah. And so man, it's different. Like
full length album.
it's yeah,
Full-length album.
8 to 10 songs, and
Nice.
it's coming, and it's got so much in it that it's got a little bit of something for everybody.
That's the beautiful thing about us too, though, is our writing is so different that it allows us to not strictly stick to one genre.
Right.
You know what I mean? We could put this album out and have 5 or 6 different genres hidden within
Inside.
this one album.
Yeah.
It's not coming out as a rock album. It's not coming out as a pop album. It's
Right.
coming out as a multi-genre album. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's what makes y'all great too. Like,
Yeah.
just from one song to the next.
But as much as we fluctuate, we've still got our sound.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We've got our
My wife
sound,
calls that
but-
polyamorous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
polyamorous.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
She says, "I'm not bipolar. I'm polyamorous."
Well, I'm
That's
bipolar.
fantastic.
Yeah, she is too. no, I'm sorry. No, let me rectify that, honey. I'm sorry. Borderline personalities.
Call it what you will.
All right, so the second song these guys and girl are going to be playing tonight is called "Ain't Me." This is my favorite song that I've heard y'all do. Now, obviously, I haven't heard them all
Right.
because there are some that y'all are keeping to yourself for now.
There it is.
And but this one is definitely my favorite. So tell me about the song. How did it come to be?
So I've been around a lot, like military people, and there's different forms of PTSD, and there's different types of reactions you get, and there's forms of trauma here and there, but a lot of times when you back a wild animal into the corner, they come out
Mm-hmm.
not themselves.
Hackles raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not who they are. It's just how it's fight or flight mode,
Yeah.
right? And so a lot of times when you meet people in different stages of their life, like, that might have been me, but it ain't me now.
Yeah.
You're in control of that. It's a choice. So what are you choosing,
And sometimes we have to put a mask on too, right? So,
Right.
And that's again. I mean, great music is multi-meaning, right? So it's just whatever you think it means,
Right.
right?
And
as
so
a
like
listener.
our very good friend Austin Kelly White, he's the harmonica player on that album, and he passed here recently. And just he really drove it home for me. And I think it's not ironic, but I just think that it's for him to be on that song and to think about how it was in the background for him.
Mhm.
You don't know. You might see who I am today, but you don't know the battles that I'm facing inside my
not,
head.
yeah, of course.
And I don't know what he's facing or anybody else. But if just be kind to one another.
Yeah, everybody's living a different day,
Right.
and everybody's living a different existence, and unfortunately, well, you could say unfortunately, but everybody's existences overlap sometimes. You're in Walmart or whatever, you don't know what somebody else is dealing with, and same that goes for them with me. Kindness is effortless.
Right. It really is, and it's free.
Yep, it sure is.
Not
So-
for you.
This is "Ain't Me" by Birds of a Feather, fully acoustic. Y'all check it out.
This smile that you see, oh, it ain't me. for tricks, but that ain't real.
All right, we are back from Ain't Me by Birds of a Feather, and we've come to the fun segments of the show. And so we've got 3 segments coming up that should be pretty quick. And some of these are going to be difficult, some of them are going to be fun. But we'll start with kind of a hard one I think you guys will struggle with. Your Mount Rushmore of entertainers. So we're talking about the top 4 entertainers in your mind. You can only pick 4, no honorable mentions.
Like collectively, we gotta pick 4.
Whoever your favorite 4 entertainers are, you think they are the best of all time.
Bro,
Foo Fighters.
Pantera.
Well, I mean, y'all
You each get 4.
4.
Yeah. Oh, we each get 4.
You each get 4.
Okay,
we'll go
all
left to
right.
right. Jessica
Okay,
first.
so like I said, I'm bipolar. So I'm gonna give you Pantera. Stevie Nicks was good. I loved how she worked the crowd. I'm a Rage Against the Machine fan. So
One more.
man, this is hard, bro. This is hard.
He said it was going to be.
I don't know. I can't give you that 4th one, man. That 4th one, I don't know.
We can come back to you.
Let go.
She's going to steal one of y'all's.
No, I'm not.
I'm going to hit everybody in the face with this one. I've got Creed, Nickelback, 3 Doors Down.
Are you trolling?
No, he's definitely trolling. No, I'm just playing.
I love all 3 of those bands, actually, like huge staples of my childhood. But no, Foo Fighters, like Dave Grohl's a musical genius.
Yep.
Stained is one of my all-time favorite bands. Aaron Lewis is incredible. And
Unless he's doing country.
His as a performer,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Man,
2
I'm
more.
really big on Jelly Roll right now as far as a performer.
I like that.
And Post Malone. I'm more of a modern type of guy. Like I'm going with.
That's a good 4 right there. I like that.
But I mean, those 4 right there, as far as performers go, and their
Yeah.
dexterity and music and their ability,
I like
they're incredible.
Mason?
Man, the first one that absolutely comes to mind for me is Freddie Mercury. I
Nice.
mean, that was just one of the best entertainers that ever walked the face of the planet. Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin, man, that was another great
Bro,
one.
you just took that one.
You had your chance.
I should have said it.
Yeah. Jeff Beck.
Okay.
I mean, just
Yes.
an upstanding guitar player, and not only that, but he would work his crowd in a way that no one else knew how to. You know what I mean? And then number 4. No,
Did you say Phil Collins?
I said Phil Baldwin.
Oh, okay.
Phil Ballin. No, seriously though, like
Yeah, that 4th one's kind of hard, ain't it?
well, I'm tied between like
Yeah, there's
3
usually
right now.
3 or 4
I
that you have
can't-
to pick from.
Yeah. I gotta go with Chris Cornell, man.
Nice.
I gotta go with Chris.
Check out his
Cornell.
daughter. She's
She's fantastic.
I love her.
She's
so much.
fantastic.
You got your 4th yet?
Yeah, Kill Switch.
There you go.
All right.
Okay. Love it. All right, it's time for What the Heck.
Oh,
So
God.
What the Heck is going to be fun because I
Not
know
the
that
same
Jessica
filter.
doesn't have a filter. I can tell already. So the filter is gone. You guys cannot filter your answer.
Oh, I love this.
So you have to say the first thing that pops into your mind. This is rapid fire. I'm going to give you guys 5 questions, and you have to answer whatever pops into your mind.
Wait, slow down. What now?
He's gonna answer.
Rapid fire.
Questions.
5 questions.
Yeah.
It's called
First
What the
thing that
Heck.
comes to me.
Okay.
Right? Number 1. When dating someone new, what is the appropriate amount of time to wait before pooping in front of them?
I'm gonna get that shit right out the way. Let's do it.
So just like first date, come on in
Bro,
here with me.
I mean, like, here's the thing. If it's gonna work, oh, it's magic. Or it's not, you know? Let's get this popping. Mason?
It's got to be the first time it's got to be after the first time you experience coitus together. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get that out of the way before you do anything else. In my opinion,
I can see that.
yeah.
Are we at my place or hers?
I don't.
John, does it matter with
It
you?
does, because
You're
like
such a liar.
Okay, so first of all,
I've got a
dating you.
regularly scheduled I got a regularly scheduled shit program at home, but any new place that I go to, I gotta shit there. Like I shit here when I got here. Like thanks for
But you didn't invite anybody in either.
Your
No, I mean-
facility was immaculate.
So
10 out of
my place or hers, it just depends on where the first date is. If it's my place, nah, I'll wait. But at hers, I gotta shit when I get there.
Yeah.
That's
All
right.
right. Number 2, what do you think cats dream about?
Me.
Pussy.
fucking shit up. What can I knock the fuck over?
Yes, that is the right answer. All right, if a penguin walked into this room right now wearing a sombrero, why is he here and what is he doing?
He brought my tequila.
Okay.
He brought your tequila.
He brought my tequila. I called that Uber a fucking hour ago.
Number, what was that, 3?
Yeah.
That was
Number
number
4, where do squirrels go during hurricanes?
Her house.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like hurricane proof, like something there?
That's why she can't focus on anything. She's just looking out her window like a crackhead. It's like a squirrel.
I
Squirrel.
think they got.
Squirrel.
I
It's
think
because
they
they
got
housing
little
all
like.
the nuts,
Well, they got little
Thousand
backup,
on the
little
night.
den squirrel storm shelters. You know what I mean?
Squirrel storm shelter.
Yeah, I think they're going underground or something, maybe.
We need to learn about that.
There's like
shit.
a whole nother world inside the tree that's got fucking like buildings and shit in it, and they just like travel their way down through the alleyways and shit, you know?
So these are the questions that just
it's like
pop into
Diagon
my
Alley.
mind.
So are-
Harry
so-
Potter, you know what I mean? Like,
So are groundhogs a sister or brother of a squirrel? Like, is that?
oh yeah, they
A
would have to
squirrel
be.
ain't nothing but a tree rat.
Right, I know. Like, so is the
And a
groundhog?
groundhog ain't nothing but a ground rat. you
It's
know
a
what I mean?
ground
That's what I'm
rat.
saying. That's what I was saying.
Then
They're
you got, then you got
Alright.
pigeons, flying rats.
Yeah.
The
first
radio
one.
flying bitch.
Radio.
All right, last one. What was your most awkward moment on stage?
Falling.
Mm-mm.
Falling.
Mm-mm.
I fall more than anybody.
Oh,
That
man.
makes me want to ask the 6th one now.
You did
Sorry,
fall,
I did. I
bro,
didn't think
but
about that one.
Will catch you.
Yeah.
All right, that was What the Heck with Birds of a Feather. Can you see why I call it What the Heck? No, this is the stuff that pops into my brain. Like, I'll be watching hurricane damage, and I'd be like, you know what? I wonder where all the squirrels are.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I see all these trees just demolished everywhere, and there's no, like, news reporting about, 600 squirrels have gone missing.
It's the
Like,
same with
this
the
is how
birds,
my
man.
brain works,
It's the
y'all.
same with the birds. Where do the birds go?
Exactly. Well, I can see where the birds go. They have wings, Mason.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not like the squirrels can just book a flight. Well, maybe that is what they're doing.
Befriend the
Maybe
bird,
they-
you got a free one.
Maybe they got
There
a
you
whole
go. It depends on the bird, though.
That's right. It
American
depends on the
squirrel
bird.
lines. You know what I mean? It's just fucking
American squirrel lines. Let's go. All right, last question. This may be harder than the Mount Rushmore one. We'll see. But I have to ask this like a professional wrestler. So it's, who do you think you are? Who is Birds of a Feather?
Mr. Big Shot.
Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Shot?
That's called avoiding the question.
It is. Who is Birds of a Feather? I mean, we all are. That's what this is why this was created. We're literally
I don't
creating
think
our
you
flock.
could put a group of 4 people together aside from us and then be able to call it Birds of a Feather and it be the same. Like, we are extremely unique.
True.
All of us, different styles,
Different styles, different
approaches
backgrounds,
to music,
different-
different
But it all
approaches to
works.
everything.
Powerhouse
Powerhouse, yeah.
with a lot of joy.
Well, and I think the reason it works is because I respect Mason for Mason. and John for John. And I don't try to take away from that.
You know this is recorded, right, Jessica?
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
I'm sitting over here going, thank God.
100%.
Remember what you said. Remember what you said?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I respect them for their individuality. Like, I don't want Mason to be somebody else. Because then, like you said, then we're just doing cover music, right?
Yeah, we've already heard that.
We've already heard that. Like, I want you to be your truest, most authentic version. I want it raw, man.
Well,
Give
nobody
to
does
me
a better
raw.
you than you.
That's right.
Right? I mean, that's just the way it is.
And the more
You seen all these Trump impersonators? I mean, that is questionable nowadays
Yeah.
because they're
Some of them are good, though.
Some of them are real
some of
close.
them
Like
are good, though.
they could fool
What's
me.
better than the Trump ones are the Biden ones.
Dude,
listen.
you could be baked in a pair of sunglasses, and I'm Sleepy Joe. All right?
I would just
Are
like
you
to have Dan
smelling
Carvey on
children?
the show for that reason. Just
Yeah.
let him sit on the couch and talk.
Yeah.
So if
Those
people are hearing
children.
about y'all for the first time, where can they follow along? Where would you send them?
Facebook for
Facebook.
sure. Facebook would be the first place.
Yep. You can find it on,
The O and of is a 0.
not anymore. We're rebranding, just FYI. We are literally in right dab in the middle of rebranding. So we are still Birds of a Feather, but on our, like, Spotify.
I made a video for y'all. by the way.
BOF.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Well, it's
You
BOF.
inspired me.
Did I?
Yeah. Well, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
And your social media hurts me. Because
Yeah.
it's hard to find.
Yeah.
And I want y'all not to be hard to find.
Well, and I'm rebranding.
That's what we're
So,
doing.
and
BOF.
I literally just started this after we talked.
Good.
We all talked.
Yeah.
And so,
But I made a video showing how
nice.
to change your username on Facebook because apparently it's a guarded secret.
It is.
And you go on YouTube and nobody has a video. I was
Right.
like, wow, this is really hard to find somebody that
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'll do a video on it. So
Well,
it's doing pretty good actually. So
You
thank
can
for
find
the
us
inspiration.
at BOFMusic. And
And the O is a
an
zero.
O. No,
Yeah.
the O is
it's
an
an
O.
O, okay.
It's an O.
All caps.
All caps.
I love that.
BOF. Music.com is our website, and you can find our Spotify from there. You can find our
We'll put that
Apple
in the
Music.
description below.
You can find our YouTube channel.
link, yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
And so BOF.
I did notice that your YouTube
TikTok.
channel is BOF Music now.
Yes.
That was just changed.
Yes, it just was
Nice.
changed. And so like how you can find it. So BOF was taken. BOF Music was taken on the YouTube channel. So it's Flocking Good Music.
Love it. Love it.
And so
We'll make sure all of that is in the
Yeah.
description below so people can follow the dream. And I hope y'all will do that. It's been a great time, guys. I appreciate y'all coming all this way.
Thanks for
hanging
having
out
us,
with
man.
Thanks for having us.
I can't say this enough. If you're still with us, please come out to downtown Quitman. Check out the Speakeasy. It really is awesome here. Kelly does a lot for Quitman. She does a lot for local music. She does a lot for the songwriter and original music. So I can't wait to talk to Kelly after this episode because I'll get to learn what the plan is for music next year, and I'm excited about that. So again, we'll make sure her stuff is down in the description as well. She's just at Speakeasy Coffeehouse on Facebook. Y'all can find her super easy, but it will be in the description below. And I'll make sure that Kelly has all of their events on Facebook when they have them ready. So if you're into music, and I know you are if you lasted this long in the show, show some love to them out here because they're really awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. It's Jessica, Mason, John from Birds of a Feather, Flocking Good Music.
Yeah.
Hard rock alternative, not country, not southern rock,
That's right. Not Southern
No.
Rock.
not naming names.
That's true.
This has been episode 41 of the Boston Chris Podcast. I love you guys out there. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jarrett, from your favorite band, Bowling for Soup. Thank you for tuning in to the Boston Chris Podcast.